Hello. This is my first time making like a YouTube talk video, but basically what I want to do is interview people in our community about health and fitness and kind of their journey with it, because I was really inspired by Julie Fouché and Ben Bergeron's podcast, and they also have like a YouTube channel where they host them, and they kind of just sit down with elite CrossFitters, or Ben Bergeron is a coach, and he kind of talks about life lessons and why that inspires me so much, because they're so amazing. I think it's more relatable when you know people. So I'm going to start doing that. So if you're watching this and you know someone, please let me know. But my obvious first guest is going to be Heather Hughes. Yay! So Heather is whoa. I'm balancing this on a LaCroix, just saying, low production budget. We are not in a car. We are on the beach, just saying. Ooh. But basically, I just want... so Heather Hughes is a CrossFitter at Summit. She does lots of the local competitions. She is a Remedy health and wellness athlete. Woot! So I just kind of wanted to hear her story. So what got you into CrossFit?
I actually had a friend about 6 years ago next month. She found a boot camp several years ago, and we started a boot camp, and it just kind of never stopped.
Did you know anything about CrossFit at all?
I had never heard of CrossFit.
So when I first heard of CrossFit and my mom got me a Groupon, that's how I started. I was like, CrossFit is a cult. Like, that is terrifying. Those people lift weights. I don't want to get bulky. Like, I don't want to have any part of that at all. Right. So funny. Like, so did you have any kind of like attitude about it?
No, I'd never heard. This was almost 6 years ago, so it was before I had ever even heard anything of CrossFit. Boot camp to me was just, I just thought of it as cardio. A lot of cardio, like more military style working out. You know, push-ups, running, things like that.
And had you done any of that prior to this?
I had not.
So could you talk about kind of what you would say your fitness level was at, or like kind of what you were eating and doing before you started the boot camp? Because I know some people before CrossFit, they kind of ran or they played sports. So I kind of want to talk a little bit about that as well.
Yeah. I was actually, a few years before that, I was extremely overweight. I was 214 pounds at my heaviest. My doctor wanted to put me on a daily cholesterol meds. I was so bad off. In college, I got into the bad habit of drinking too often, eating fast food constantly. That was my go-to when I'd get out of class late and have class early. But then I had a really good friend that got me into hiking. We started hiking a lot more, and eventually when we would go out to eat, I would get a to-go box beforehand and put half of the meal in the box and take it home.
Portion control.
So I had portion control in a way. And then within a few months, I was already down 14 pounds, and the doctor said he was proud of me, which how often do you hear that? So, of course, he said that, so I wanted to continue my journey and keep on trying to become the best me. Eventually, another friend, we got into Zumba. We went to, when it was the Rush, we went to the Rush. We lifted weights. God, I got on the elliptical for an hour each time, which was miserable, boring.
I can't imagine doing that now.
It was awful. I would never do it again. I would never do it again. Now I'm like 5 minutes, I'm done. This is ridiculous. The elliptical's terrible, but
I can't even, like the thought of elliptical, like I'm starting to feel sweaty.
Yeah, I'm like,
I don't, like, I'm not
It's not my favorite. It's great.
Well,
it's not what I'd like to do.
So sadly, I wasn't able to be in the first part of your journey, but I've been able to see you over the past year just grow, you know, physically. Like, I can't believe that she's lost all this weight. You look so great. Like,
thanks.
You're so amazing. And also just, you know, physically in the gym with your skills and everything like that. And so why do you keep coming back to CrossFit? Like, what motivates you to keep coming back every day?
Honestly, not just my goals. I have so many. It's ridiculous. I don't know that I'll ever be able to achieve all of them. I will never stop trying to achieve them. But more importantly, athletes such as yourself who are so exponentially better than me, and I can chase after you and try to keep honing in on my skills to become to your level. Athletes that are maybe just starting out. Anybody that's willing to come into the gym and give it their all to be the best version of themselves wherever they are in their journey. That's what keeps me coming back. It keeps me constantly motivated. It keeps inspiring me. I've been there. I get it. It sucks. It's hard. Nobody wants to do it.
No.
I mean, but it's
Not
better
really.
when we're all doing it together, because
Yeah.
instead of the world we're in now really is just trying to drive everybody apart. And in here, we are a family, and everybody only wants the best for everybody else. Doesn't matter where you finish. You can finish first, you can finish last. Doesn't matter. You finish the workout, you're gonna get applauded. You're gonna get a high five. If you can come in here and say you gave it your best effort on even your worst day, that to me keeps driving me. It keeps me coming back in for more.
That was so inspiring. Today's my rest day, but I feel like I want to go inside just for the...
Well, you're
The high
competing in
fives.
Lollapalooza this weekend, so I think you should rest.
Yeah, so I like how you talked about the community and everything, because a lot of people do think that CrossFit is very scary. They think like military or weights, or I'm going to get bulky, kind of like you said.
Right.
But I do also like CrossFit isn't scary, as you can see. It's a great community. But also I do like that you said you did Zumba and you hiked and things like that, because I just think people are just really just not... We are just so in the world where everything's fast, fast, fast. We're fast food. We're sitting on the couch. We're on our phones. And people really miss out on that health aspect and the community, because we're all behind our screens now.
Yep.
And it is nice to kind of see what our bodies can do together.
Right. Push
So-
them. I mean, they're here for a reason. Let's see what they can do.
And it's
What
so
are we capable
cool
of? Yeah.
that, like you said, you were kind of in a bad spot. I mean, you were going to be on medication.
Yep.
And you were overweight, basically. And you were able to just come in and accomplish those goals. And that's so awesome.
It's awesome. People don't take enough time to focus on themselves, whether it be physically or their mental health. I'm very about
Working on it.
mental strength. It's just as important, if not more important, than physical strength. Your body is up for the challenge. Is your mind? Is your mind right? Like you and I, we've talked about this. We've been listening to a lot more podcasts, driving to and from, instead of listening to music like I would. The Bergeron podcasts are saving my life right now. They're really making me stronger as an athlete, stronger in my nutrition, in sleep, in work. It's working. Like there's something just about resetting your mind, resetting your focus, that speaks volumes.
And the most recent Bergeron podcast kind of talked about how you can only control yourself, like your actions. And that really hit home with me, because I also kind of wanted to touch on this because Heather and I talk about this a lot, because she's one of my best friends, but she's an inspiration to many women in the gym. I know when I was getting ready for her birthday, so many women were like willing to make a video for her, because she is truly so inspiring in so many ways.
Love you
If
guys.
you've never talked to her, like, you need to talk to her. This is just a highlight of how awesome she is. So I know that we both struggle personally. I know a lot of people look at other people and they think, oh, they could possibly not struggle with being themselves and not comparing themselves. And I know I personally, as much as I preach it, it is hard to not get on Instagram and be like, oh, they lifted that. I mean, I can do that. Why can't I do it? And oh, they're just, they look better than me. Or in my case, a lot of my friends are married and I'm not yet. So I do struggle with that, just being vulnerable on this podcast. So, how can we not compare ourselves to how does it hurt us in the long run?
Great saying, comparison is the thief of joy. Why are you going to compare yourself to somebody else's journey? In doing so, you're taking away from your own victories, your own journeys. Anything that you've accomplished, because you're comparing yourself to somebody else, you've just taken that away from you. Own it. This is yours. I've had to unfollow people on social media because it's been bad for me. Not because I don't love them, not because I don't care about them, but because for me mentally, it's hurting me as an athlete. It's hurting my growth. It's taking away from my journey. Oh, well, she's now down all of this weight. Well, why am I not? You know, I'm already down 60 pounds. It takes time. It takes effort. It takes honing in. She is not me. We don't have the same story. We are different athletes. We're different human beings. Why take away from that?
It's true. And I like how Heather just said that. It's a process. So if you are kind of on a weight loss journey, especially with the magazines and the diet fads, it is easy to be like, well, I haven't lost 10 pounds like she did, so I'm going to give up. But really, like you said, it's a process, and your journey is your journey. And at the end of the day, if I were to die today, God forbid, or her, like, nothing that Heather did could basically, like, it has nothing to do with my life, like my choices. Like, she can't eat healthy food for me, or she can't do the extra 400-meter run for me, or she can't, you know, break bad habits that I might have. Like, your journey is your own. Everybody's process. You should enjoy the journey, basically. I really liked what you said there.
And accountability. Accountability is huge. People they don't want to own up to things. Yes, I made very bad decisions when I was younger. However, I owned up to that. I accepted it. I have let it fuel my fire for my future. I'm healthier now in my 30s than I ever was in my 20s.
I feel healthier now, too, from when I was younger.
But you've taken
crazy.
ownership of, things. I shouldn't have had all of those cakes. Yes, indulge once in a while. It's totally fine. But
yes,
I indulged a little too much in the funfetti cake. But you have to own up to what you do. It all comes down to your decisions. There are things that are going to be out of your control for forever. But as Bergeron says, it's all about your attitude. That's the only thing that is within your control, is your attitude on the negative, on the positive, on the blah.
Anything. Yeah.
How can you approach it? Okay, well, that sucked. How can I make it better?
You can tell we've been listening to Bergeron. He's
Yeah,
an
man.
inspiration.
Whoop.
Hope to be. But I do this brought something up. You talked about cake, which,
Right.
who doesn't love cake?
Right.
But I kind of want to touch on that too, especially coming off the holidays. A lot of New Year's resolutions, a lot of people feeling really bad about themselves for what they ate. And I kind of want to talk about how, we are human and there are
Absolutely.
delicious treats on earth.
Yes.
And we shouldn't want to jump off a bridge because we had a cookie.
Right.
There, like you said earlier with the portion control, I kind of want to talk about that. Like, how do we tell people it's okay if they want to have, a cookie, or if they want to have pasta every now and then? Like, how would you address that?
Well, I'm doing right now with Remedy. We're doing a weight loss. It's a weight loss challenge, but it's more for accountability. There's several people in there that just want to be accountable. We're struggling. Today there was cake at work to celebrate birthdays. You know what? So far I'm 15 days with no sugar after the holidays. I wasn't going to break that on just a work cake. So instead I had my apple, and you know what? I felt strong. Normally that is something that is really hard for me. I really love sugar. There's been brownies at my house for several days, and I've not given in to temptation. Instead, what can I do to satisfy this craving? Okay, I can eat an orange. Perfect. That still gives me the satisfaction. But I'm not giving in. I'm not ready to give in. Now, I will eat another brownie someday, but I'm not ready at that point. I had too many between Thanksgiving and Christmas.
But, like you said, it's not the end of the world.
No.
You just move forward and replace with better options. And if it was let's just say your birthday next week, it's not, and you wanted to have a piece of cake for your birthday,
I would
you
absolutely
should
eat a
do
piece of
that
cake.
because life is short.
Right.
And then the next day, you would just move on if you want to have another celebratory. I celebrate birthday week. Sometimes birthday month.
Birthday month for me.
So, if you
December.
want to have 2 pieces, it's not the end of the world.
Right.
But,
Right.
Again, it's all about attitude. You can just reset and move forward.
Actually, a really good friend of mine, her name is Beth Sweet. She moved to Michigan, but she used to come to Summit. She helped me feel better about that. She would say, Heather, nobody ever went to their deathbed and said, God, I really regret that cupcake that I ate.
Yeah.
You're not going to regret
true.
the cupcake that you ate.
I never regret the cupcakes.
I never regret them. I
Or
pull them apart and eat them like a sandwich. So, it's okay to indulge. You just don't have to indulge every day. And it's not a cheat meal. That gives you a negative
attitude
thought
toward food.
of the food.
Right.
Oh, this is so bad for me. No, it's not. You're human. You're allowed to enjoy what you eat. You just don't have to have it every day. If you want to have one little piece of cake every week, that's fine. Overall, one little piece of cake throughout 7 days
It's life, yeah.
is not going to do anything.
And I really appreciate you saying that, because another reason that I want to do this podcast is because I'm sure many people know that my best friend growing up, she passed away from bulimia. And so I can attest, okay, I'm not going to cry, but I can attest that her family, myself, and many of her other friends would much rather have her alive than not here on earth with us. Like, she's not experiencing all this. And she was such a great human, just a great person, and she died so young. And it's like very sad that to look good and to have that image was more important than a life. And I know now, if she were alive again, that things probably would be different. But I'm just saying, like, it's so much more important to enjoy life and enjoy the friendships. And my platform is health, and I know yours is
Absolutely.
as well.
And I think that's probably part of the problem. I don't know how old your friend was when she passed, but social media, the media in general is terrible for especially women. Yes, it is very bad for men too, because you know, you see a ripped guy, you want to be ripped.
Yeah.
I understand. We've all been there. I always wanted to be the skinny. I wanted to be skinny.
Yeah.
I wanted to.
Me too. Growing up.
I wanted to look good in a swimsuit. Now, you know what? I don't want to be skinny. I want to be fit. I want to be healthy.
Healthy.
It's
Me
much
too.
more important. I swear, once you hit a certain age, like I think after 25, you stop thinking so much about what the media is throwing at you in social media that you actually start to care about yourself more.
It's true.
That's why I think it's important that your mental strength is good in that case, because you have to overcome the magazines that you see in the checkout.
Yeah, and even, I don't know if you deal with this with, but I deal with it a lot. And even if you do get fit, I get a lot of people that say to me, well, why do you want to lift that? And why do you have muscles? You're a woman.
Yeah. Why would you want to squat 300 pounds?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah. And you know, to me, I understand where they're coming from, but not really, because it is belittling like what I enjoy. But again, back to that whole platform of like health. And maybe this can be like a PSA for people. Like, you know, you never know what someone is going through. If you do see someone that's too thin, they could be struggling with their body image, or someone who's too big. They could be trying to get healthy and back in shape.
And they could have already lost 50 pounds.
Yeah.
We don't know their journey. So.
Which is awesome, because I love learning people's journey. Like, I would have never known this about Heather if, you know, I didn't become close friends with her, or Remedy didn't highlight her journey. So, I really appreciate you talking to me today, and hopefully people learned a lot today. And if do you have one thing you want to leave anybody with?
Oh, man. Never give up on yourself. Never be afraid to try.
Aww.
Never be afraid to fail. Failure is only learning. There is no such thing as failure. So keep trying. Keep on keeping on. And go out there and crush it.
Isn't she great? She should be like a therapist or something. She's awesome. I tried to make her mine. I'm not even kidding. But
Life Coach Hughes.
I really hope that you guys have enjoyed this today. I don't know if anyone will even listen, but you should, because she's super inspiring. But thank you so much for your time today. And if you guys have any questions for Heather, I know that she would be super happy to answer. She's always happy to help anybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
Me also. And if you have any suggestions on who we should interview next, then comment or let me know. Okay, cheers to health and loving yourself and getting fit in the new year. Bye-bye. Louise.